Welcome to Yoga Friends. I'm here with my wonderful friend Chris. Chris, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Chris is a teacher and a student, and you've been a student for quite some time. How long?
Well, a student of yoga probably for 14, no, 12 years. 12 years.
Okay. So how long have you been teaching yoga?
Teaching yoga for since 2015. So started practicing 2014, took teacher training and started teaching in 2015.
Oh, wow. But you had an extensive background in just physical training.
Group fitness.
Yeah.
Yeah. I started that 26 years ago.
Okay. What did you start doing?
I was teaching at Lifetime. I did spinning classes and step aerobics, fitness, like boot camp kinds of classes and things like that in the studio for a large group.
You've been teaching at yoga or at Lifetime for 25 years?
Uh huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of for a lifetime
Yeah.
almost.
Really? Yeah,
Literally.
really. Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't play around. Yeah, Lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I went there the other day on your invitation, and it was really, I mean, Lifetime is beautiful. I mean, that's a really, really nice place. I know that you're probably used to it, but boy, they really did it right.
Yeah.
And you can tell just the traffic going in and out of that place like
Mm-hmm.
crazy. I mean, yeah, they definitely did it right. Um, so you so what all have you done at Lifetime over the years as far as training goes?
Well, I started working out there after I had my kids, and not really being into fitness at all, before then, feeling like, okay, I'm out of shape. I got to get the bod back and I need to go work out. And so that kind of led me into this, oh, well, this is fun and I can do this and I can play my own music. And it's my secret inner DJ wanting to come out and work out to my music. And it spoke to me. So I did my training there, did a bunch of certifications through ACE to get my national certification, did my spinning. So got all of that, and I had to audition 4 times before they hired me. They kept sending me off. Nope, nope, nope. Get some experience. So I did a little small clubs here and there, and got my feet wet, got my voice, and then came back and four times.
Yeah. But that's for yoga or for
That
the
was for group fitness. So
okay
that
for
was
group
back
fitness?
in 2000.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. So it was quite humbling.
Yeah.
But once I got it, I was like so excited and
Yeah.
just like, it's exactly what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. When you took your teacher training, Johnny Kest involved at that point?
Well, only in the sense that it was his program. I went for my 200 hour at Center for Yoga in Birmingham. Tommy Mack was the teacher for me for my group at the time. Johnny was there overseeing everything, and we were doing a ton of his classes since he owned the studio. And then when I ended up doing my 300 hour a couple years after that, then Johnny was leading that one up. So
Oh,
he
okay.
was involved heavily
Really
in
well,
that
so you did
second
the
one.
300 hours with Johnny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it doesn't really get any better than that.
I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I had a great experience actually with both. The first one, I was kind of in a dark place when I was going through it, and I just remember sitting there on the first day thinking, "Oh my gosh, what am I doing here? Like, I need to go home. I need to leave." My husband, I came home. I'm like, I don't think this is for me. And he said, "No, just try it one more day. Go back the next day." And I did, and I'm so glad I did because, I mean, this is 11 years later, and I'm still loving what I'm doing now
Yeah.
because of
I
that.
know. I can tell you love what you do. Do you remember what was going on at the time that you were kind of bummed about?
Yeah. Gosh, I was just going through some major life struggles in my marriage. My husband and I were kind of at that point where we were ready to call it quits, and I just wasn't sure how to handle it. My kids were getting older; they didn't need me anymore. Not to get too deep into the marital stuff, but we were drinking a lot and just kind of self medicating and numbing out to our problems. And so it kind of really took a deep, dark dive. And I think that, the yoga teacher training, well, I didn't know that it was going to be helpful in those kinds of ways. I thought it was just another certification to teach.
Hmm.
It really, really, guided me to take a look inside,
Yeah.
and kind of figure some things out and really take a long, hard look at what was going on in my own life.
Yeah,
So,
that's interesting because Mo was just here. Do you know Mo from the studio?
yeah,
Yeah.
love
Um,
her.
she, I just did an interview with her, and she was talking about she was a firefighter, and she
She's
would
such
wake,
a badass.
yeah,
I love
and
that.
to be so like kind at the same time, like
Mm-hmm.
so gentle to have. I always thought ever since I was a kid, like I didn't realize this when I was a kid. I realized it as an adult that the word cool to me is someone who is like badass and kind at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she's like the definition of that.
For
But
sure.
she said, probably, 2012 or something like that. I think she was saying she would wake up in the middle of the night and feel like anxious. I think about her job and stuff like that. And so she realized she had to find something to calm her,
Mm-hmm.
her nervous system and that's why she came to yoga. So it's such a blessing to be aware enough to know like I need to seek help and you know nothing against if anyone's taking prescriptions or whatever, but if you can do something naturally,
Mm-hmm.
that's probably the preferred route first. And yoga is just so great for like managing stress, managing anxiety, like helping us to feel better about ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
helping us to like see other people, I think, with more empathy, because it's very humbling too for us.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally feel that. My meditation practice isn't super strong. It sort of ebbs and flows, but I can tell, when I've taken the time to sit down and breathe and just tune out. When I'm on my mat more, I feel better. I feel less anxious and same thing. Like just with stuff that's going on lately, dealing with my aging parents too. I wake up in the middle of the night, just heart palpitations, and like I got to get on my yoga mat. I need to just check out and breathe and
Yeah.
not think about all that stuff for a little while.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because, I think one problem that people can have, and I've had this problem before, is believing that I have a lot of problems and other people have life easier than I do.
Mm,
But everyone, I think, has problems in one way or another. And it's interesting because when I see you, you just seem like the picture of health, and uh, you just seem like you handle life so well. And then, to know that you have these challenges and stuff like that, I got to tell you, like, it's refreshing,
yeah,
because it makes me feel like, oh, okay, I guess we have some things in common and it's
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I got y'all fooled, huh?
Yeah.
Because I got stuff too, just like everybody else. And
Yeah.
and that's the thing too. When you teach yoga, you look around the room at all of your students, and everybody's got something,
Yeah.
and it's all different. But everybody's coming there together just to do better, to feel better.
To become better versions of
Yeah,
ourselves. Yeah.
yeah,
Do you, would you say you're a sensitive person?
yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
And so you have a psychology degree, and would you say that, well, let me back up a second. I heard someone say not long ago that people who have mental issues, challenges, and stuff like that are generally all of the same thing in common and that they're sensitive. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of begs the question, would you rather not be sensitive? And that's a tough thing because it's like, then you
Yeah,
don't feel the good things too.
right.
S-
And I mean, I wouldn't want to be cold,
Yeah.
or hardened to people. And I do. I take on problems of other people's and my own way too deeply, where I obsess and think about it too much and stress. And sometimes I wish that I wasn't that way. Um, you know, eh, but yeah, I would never want to come across as uncaring or cold or hardened like that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
But the thing with you, Chris, is that of all of the thought you put into yourself and other people, the results that other people get, I'll just speak for myself, are wonderful. Like we don't know each other that well, and you've already done a couple of nice things. I mean, like very, very nice, very kind things that I'm not going to name because I don't want to like embarrass you or anything, for me. And so if you weren't that sensitive, you probably wouldn't have thought to do those things. You might not have had the insight or the, the sensitivity to do those. So I appreciate that about you. There's a book that I just finished for probably the fifth time. It's maybe my favorite book, one of my two or three favorite books. It's called Lincoln's Melancholy, and it's about Abe Lincoln. And he had a life full of, depression, which, by the way, I'm not saying that I think you have that, or I'm not really sure what challenges you have. I think everyone has some of that.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I have.
Yeah, same.
But the book is all about how he had severe issues. Like, he was suicidal at times, and he would just disappear from the public for a while. He'd sit in his law office for hours and not say a word to anyone.
Hmm.
Um, but these moments actually helped him to, according to this book, see things in its precise shape and color.
Mm-hmm.
And then he ultimately became president. He had a lot of failures before he became president. He wasn't some master politician and this huge, like, ugly civil war, but he got us through that. And for such, like, a sensitive guy to do it, but I feel like our country was really blessed to have him at the
Mm-hmm.
time, even though it was horrible on his nerves and and all of that for him to take. He was the guy to do it because everyone else just kept passing the buck on the
Uh-huh.
issues that were going on at the time that Abe Lincoln obviously solved. But it's just a great book in that people who are very sensitive and have challenges, it's not for nothing. I mean, there's really good things that come out of it, and one of those things is like priceless insight and wisdom that can
Mm-hmm.
make a person so valuable in so many different ways. So
Mm.
I appreciate that out of people. I appreciate that out of you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Well, I feel the same about you. I mean, you are a very kind and sensitive person as well. And just getting to know you from your teaching classes and hearing your stories that you share, throughout your classes, or have given me a little bit more insight into you and
Yeah.
your life and what you're like.
Well, thanks,
Yeah,
Chris.
you're very kind.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. And it means a lot coming from you. So you teach class right after this interview, right?
Yeah, I have a 6 o'clock
Yeah.
yoga class, vinyasa.
Yeah, vinyasa.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And how long, so did you start out just teaching hot vinyasa?
That was my thing. Like, that was my favorite. And when I knew I wanted to teach, it was because of that specific format. I like the flows, the A, B, and the C, which is kind of, special in itself, and just the music, the high energy, the hot temperatures. It all just spoke to me and what I needed to get for myself out of a class. So I thought, again, like, I want to bring this to people also.
Yeah. And those classes, they are very fun and very energetic. Is that how you started? Well, wait. So did you start doing yoga in the hot vinyasa classes?
Yeah.
Okay. So so your class is at Lifetime. Okay. So I think I already asked you this, but I'm not really sure if you answered it. Was it Johnny Castile yoga back then?
Yes. So when Lifetime Novi, which is the one I work at, created this yoga studio. Before it was in the group fitness studio, it was cold, it was loud, it was not
Yeah.
conducive for a good yoga class. So they built the studio that had the high heat, its own private little space. It felt very cozy. And I thought, all right, well, let's go give this a try. I had done a couple classes over the years, popping into a yin class or, maybe a slow flow. And I just thought, oh, it's not really for me. But once I went into the new yoga studio that was built in 2014, it was Johnny Kest yoga all the way. That was all the teachers that were sent had all been trained through him, and I just started to make it a thing. I fell in love with it a few times a week, became every day for a while.
Yeah, because I've heard someone told me one time, because I tried to get into the yoga classes in Lifetime in Canton. And sorry if you're watching this from another state, but it's at a different Lifetime than you work
Hmm.
at. You work in the Novi one. But I couldn't get into a class, but that was right after COVID too. So I'm
Hmm.
sure things are different now. But someone also told me, like, yeah, you hear weights clanging and stuff like that, but not at your studio. Your studio is like, uh, it's really nice. I mean, it is a proper studio with a really nice sound system.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so too. And it's
Yeah.
kind of back in the corner, so you're not hearing all the noise from the gym.
Yeah.
You really feel like you're not even in a gym.
Yeah. 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 I thought I was really
Hmm.
impressed. I was kind of actually surprised. So, do you feel like over time you're learning a lot about yourself as a teacher?
Yeah, I am.
Or as a person, like learning about yourself as a person being a teacher?
I learned that I'm still struggling with confidence. I mean, I have some days where I go in and I'm like, oh, what am I doing teaching? The whole
Imposter
imposter.
syndrome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I'm like, why? And these students are listening to me. Like, what do I know? Yeah, I've done all the training and this and that, but it is humbling, but then it is very rewarding at the same time because somebody, maybe it's one or two people, get something out of it, or they pick up on your message, or they like a flow or a transition, and it's just like validating that, okay, I did my best today, I gave my best, I had a message, I didn't have a message, but I'm showing up for these people again and again, and I want to do that. I don't know if I answered your
Yeah,
question.
yeah, you did.
Like, did I?
Yeah, well, I don't know that. I don't think most students realize like how yoga teachers get imposter syndrome. And it's not like an ongoing thing all the time, but it happens from time to time. And you're like, who's going to want to hear this? Because, we listen to our own messages and our all the time. And I've heard my own songs so many times,
Hmm.
and it took me a long time to like build my playlist. But still, they start to get a little bit old to me. And but then every once in a while, you'll have someone come up to you and just say something really sweet and kind, and that
Uh-huh.
you were meaningful to them. But yeah, I don't think a lot of people realize that teachers, are vulnerable too, and
Yeah.
we come in there vulnerable, and sharing ourselves is a really like vulnerable thing, and it's not easy. Like, I read a long time ago that to to write a good speech, you want to spend something like 20 hours researching, 20 hours preparing, and then 20 hours doing something else. I don't know. It was like 60 hours total. That was probably for like a 1 hour speech. We only give couple minute talks, but
Hmm.
still, I mean, you gotta like, it takes like it's not easy, especially if you teach a couple times a week. That's like over 100 talks you give a
Hmm.
year. And if you want to do something thoughtful and you really and you're a sensitive person and you care, it's not always like easy to come up with those.
Yeah. And really, the self doubt creeps in too because, a lot of stories are about me or my life or an experience that I'm sharing. But then I think, oh, am I making this about me? It shouldn't be about me. It's about them. And so I have this whole inner struggle, of am I talking too much about myself? Is the flow the same as it was on Tuesday last week? Or did I play this playlist? Like, there's all these things that you question about
Yeah.
yourself before you go in to teach.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah. We're alike in that
hmm.
sense. Yeah. But I've noticed that people over time will what resonates the most with people is when I'm vulnerable about my personal life.
Hmm.
And because then they can say, oh, you're like that too,
Hmm.
Because I think the worst thing about struggling with problems is being isolated. A person believing that they're the only one and that other people aren't going to want to hear about what they have to say or might judge them or might not understand. And so that when they hear someone talk about it, it often makes them feel better. And when
Hmm.
and when a person is sensitive and shares themselves with other people, obviously it makes us vulnerable, but at the same time it's like it can be a huge help to another person.
Hmm.
I mean, I know that you care about that because you have anyone who has a psychology background, from a young age, like you cared about helping people. And over the years, fitness classes is really all about wanting to see people do their best.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting that you talk about isolation because I think one of the things that I really loved about your class, many things, but one of the things
Thanks.
is that, you would ask if you want hands on adjustments, and, the people who did could say yes or give a signal. And people need human connection and touch. And so I think that's an important part of class. Just many people go through their lives days, weeks, months on end without any physical contact. And so just the feeling of, a hand on the shoulder or, you know, stretching through the legs or things, just some assistance like that can make the world of difference of connection for somebody who has none.
Yeah. I agree, and I'm glad that you pointed that out because I've been thinking about that lately. It's you know, we used to go to the same studio. I haven't. I quit a couple weeks ago, and that's the thing I miss the most is the affection of the people, and a huge part of that is touching, like the amount of touching that I did in a class. And as you said, I would always ask people. So the people who really wanted it, it was really the equivalent of getting like several warm hugs every class.
You're right. Yeah.
But human babies can't really survive long unless they're touched. So I think sometimes we underestimate like as adults like how we kind of need things like that. And just because a person's in a marriage, and some people might share a cold hug or something like that every once in a while. Some people are fortunate to have affection, but for those who don't have it, yeah, I could see it being, yeah,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, a yoga studio is a very like intimate setting, um, and at the same time, a very safe and friendly and loving setting, an excellent place to be vulnerable. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you and I are both like blessed because we both had our challenges in life, and sometimes pretty serious challenges. And I think we're both blessed to like have this door open for us to get into this, this type of like therapy and this loving culture.
Yeah. It's definitely done a world of good for me. It's life-saving.
Yeah.
I wasn't on the edge of anything drastic, but it really brought me back from a deep, dark place. And it's just, I won't ever give it up. Although I have made my way back into the group fitness world a little bit more lately, I'm finding that I need a balance of both.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up.
Okay.
Did you have anything you want to add?
No, I thank you for inviting me to come and chat with you.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Yeah. Thank you too, Chris. I think the world of you.
Oh,
So
thanks.
yeah.
I think the world of you too.
Yeah. All right.